It's day 61, y'all, of the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series. I'm Danette Moss, Business Systems and Implementation Strategist, aka the Strategy Lady over at Let's Talk Strategies, home of the SaaS Factor. And y'all, for day 61, as we wrap things up, I want to talk about you, right? Me, you. You as the brand, crafting unforgettable business identities. Y'all, this is extremely important. I've been, you know, into this for some years now. And as I grow my business and pivot, I always have to still make sure I'm looking at my me, my you, who I am, my brand identity. It is extremely important. I'm always in environments where I'm constantly learning about the importance of it as well. Hence the reason you guys hear me always tell you who I am. Danette Moss, Business Systems and Implementation Strategist, aka the Strategy Lady. That's my brand, right? You all recognize me oftentimes by the color of my glasses. I have another different pair that I wear, but you all can kind of still see my brand just constantly flowing through who I am by what I say, by how I show up, even on, in the social sphere, right? It's extremely important. So this is why I thought we would talk about you as the brand, crafting unforgettable business identities as we wrap up the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series. This is day 61, and I want to go ahead and jump in and guide you through the art of becoming a recognizable force, lady. You got to. Of course, this to me is going to ensure that your presence, that it echoes through every facet of your business. Let's go ahead and let's dive into, I guess, tip number one, which is the authentic personal brand, right? Or authentic personal branding. I think it's extremely important for you to embrace it, right? I think it's important that you let your true self shine in every interaction. I mean, everywhere that you show up, by the way, the clothes that you wear, um, your colors on your website. I mean, everything shine, right? I believe that it truly creates that genuine um that genuine feel that people like to feel, that they need to see, right? It makes you relatable. It makes your brand relatable. They know you, they recognize you. It resonates with the audience when you show up consistently looking the part, right? Not one day saying you're this person, then the next day you're flipping over here. And every single day you're changing your colors. I mean, nothing, there's no method to the madness. So I believe having your own authentic personal brand is going to be key. Please make sure that you adapt that or adopt that, depending on where you're from, into your business model if you aren't. I love it. I mean, when I show up and they see the strategy lady, they know exactly one that I'm going to come talking about all things strategy. Okay. They know when they hear me say who I am. I'm Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist, aka the strategy lady. I tend to say business systems and implementation because just by saying the strategy lady, until people get a chance to know, like, and trust you and know who you are, sometimes you have to add some things to it, like Nike, right? What do they say? Just do it. I believe that's it. Y'all don't laugh at me if I just messed it up. It's their brand. We know it when we see it, right? So make sure that you maintain that authenticity. It's going to build the brand, and it's going to show credibility, right? It doesn't look like you're switching and hopping and changing every 5 seconds or something to something different. Stay genuine, right? When you do that, staying genuine, staying consistent, y'all, it showcases, or it builds a strong emotional connection with your audience. Again, when I show up, no matter where I'm showing up, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all these platforms that you may be watching me on, or Clubhouse, them just seeing the strategy, they know me and they know what I'm going to talk about. They don't have to figure it out. Right. So, an example of a female who is a serious woman who shows up as authentic as we all know that she is Oprah Winfrey, right? She authentically shows up and shares her story, her values, and she shares her vulnerabilities as well, right? It's okay to do that as a business owner. I share why I call myself the strategy lady. I share that if it wasn't for me putting those necessary strategies in place and simplifying, automating, systematizing, and streamlining my business model, I wouldn't be in business anymore. I would probably more than likely, honestly, probably be divorced again because I was divorced and remarried. And I wouldn't have developed that relationship with my children, y'all, because I was all over the place. And I needed something that could help me hone in and stay focused. Originally, SAS stood for being strategic, creating your own, taking action, creating your own signature system. Then God gave me the new part of SAS: simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline. I had to do that for myself. And doing that for myself, I was able to pull the name out, the strategy lady, because people started calling me that. And I just started walking in it, right? Kept it, love it, and I stand by it, just as Oprah, she stands by her stories, her values, and her vulnerabilities. Sometimes I share that. I stand on who I am. I encourage you to do that, right? A practical way for you to do it, or a practical tip for you to actually begin to execute that, is to journal about your values, okay? Your passions and your experience. This is going to help you identify authentic elements to incorporate into your personal brand, right? Nobody can be the strategy lady like the strategy lady can be. No, I'm not the only one that talks strategies, but I am the strategy lady. And when you hear that, people know who she is. It is I, right? So definitely take the time out, journal about your values, your passions, all those things, and craft some things around that, right? Identify authentic elements that will allow you to create or develop your personal brand that you can stand on. Now, strategy tip number 2 is consistent visual identity. Okay. Again, I use colors for me, right? My wall, my chalk wall that you all normally see me at in my home office. I'm at my office here in my New York home. You see things that I stand by. When you see those colors, when you see my eyeglasses, when you see the words "the strategy lady," everything is consistent across all of my platforms. It gives people, they can recall me instantly because of that consistency, right? So stick with your colors. Now, if you're changing, stick with a color for a while, even if you're testing, and then, swap out. But don't every day have something different, especially when you're trying to show up out there in the social medias platforms, right? Your color schemes, your fonts, those things need to truly align with your brand personality. They need to stay consistent. You don't need to be hopping all around. Okay. Now, remember, I'm going to provide you with some tips to actually maintain that cohesive visual brand. And again, we want to think about, a company that you can look at that's consistent with what they do. Apple, right? Starbucks, they're visually consistent, right? You can instantly recognize them, instantly recognize their identity. You can instantly recognize me by my glasses, right? My colors, my logo, the arrows. We are going to make some changes in that, but the colors are still going to blend. They're going to speak to who I am. Stay consistent across the border is the tip that I want to give you, right? Show up and make sure that how people see you visually is a lasting thing that they'll remember, not one minute you're showing up this color, the next minute that color when it comes to your color schemes, when it comes to your naming scheme and all of that. It's extremely important, okay? So again, if you want to look at an example, y'all look at Apple and Starbucks. They are consistent, okay? They are visually consistent and you can recognize them instantly. And that's how people should see you as well when it comes to the second tip: consistent visual identity. Now, As we move on to strategy tip number 3, this one is all about narrating your story. Look, narrate the story. tongue tied, tongue tied. Listen, share the journey behind your business. I shared why I'm the strategy lady. I shared why and how SaaS was created. Simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline equals SaaS, right? For that sustainability, for the growth. Narrate your story. You know, I believe when you do this, it makes your brand more memorable and relatable. I always say, I believe every female needs a little sass in her life. That's because I work with female CEOs. And we talk about sass, sassy lady. I just took that and God gave me a way to incorporate it, right? Again, simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline your business. I used to be, remember, strategic, taking action, creating your own signature system, but I found that so many women couldn't do it because they were overcomplicating. They were overwhelmed with a lot of different things. I was even overwhelmed. And this is why SaaS was created, the new acronym: simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline. It tells the story. It paints the story right off the rip. I believe that we don't have to overcomplicate things, but I believe that whatever it is we're doing, it truly needs to make sense and it needs to connect emotionally, right? Making everything that you do memorable and relatable. It's as simple as that. It really is. So, if you hadn't done it, create a framework that you put that in. Okay. Share your personal stories on your platforms. Okay. Make sure that it fosters a sense of connection. Tell your story. Make sure the story is a story that's real, that people can feel true transparency in it. Not that you got to tell all your business, but you may want to drip a little bit of it out there. People need to know that you get them and that you understand. And sometimes delivering and showing up in its most transparent way can really can be helpful. I know it's gotten me a lot of customers, a lot of clients, by me being as transparent as possible. I had to shake off being over technical because when you start dealing with topics such as, strategy and systems and processes, sometimes people get a little nervous and scared. But when you can make it relatable to them, they can digest it better. So make sure you do that. Okay. Make sure that whatever it is you're doing, as you paint the picture and as you tell your story, that it truly has that sense of connection, that emotional piece in there, and that they feel like you get them because you really do, right? Now let's move on to strategy tip number 4. And listen, if you don't have it, I need to encourage you to truly adapt exceptional customer service. Make sure that you have that best customer experience known to man or woman, right? Prioritize exceptional customer service, exceptional. Make sure that your customer has that experience that is a positive, unforgettable experience, not a negative one, right? Each positive interaction, y'all, becomes a building block. It really does in your brand identity. It really, really does. Creating a satisfied customer or providing a customer with um, satisfactory a satisfactory experience is golden, right? It's going to help with your reputation. It really, truly is. So if you're that one that says, yeah, I know it's about the customer, but every customer is not right, you're right, they're not. But you still can deliver even the no or the, hey, I'm sorry, we can't do this in an exceptional way that lets them know that, hey, this is still a business, but I still want to honor you a certain way, but I still have to respect my business and I'm respecting you at the same time, right? Exceptional customer experience is just going to be something that you just can't get away with. Not having it can close your business's doors. It really can. Okay. So make sure that you position yourself to, be that one that has the positive reviews because you're showing up and you're giving that that top-notch customer experience. Make sure that you position yourself or your business to be able to say that you get business from word of mouth marketing because you're showing up and you're providing that exceptional customer experience, one that leaves a lasting memorable moment that they only want to come back to you. Literally, you can do it. I believe you can because that's something I stand on. I have to do it on a consistent basis. Okay. So, a real life example of a company that I believe does it, who provides exceptional customer service, companies that I've experienced myself, and they do it, and they operate with the brand identity that people cannot forget, is Zappo and Disney. They provide exceptional customer service, at least the last times I've used them. I hadn't been at Disney in a while. The kids are all older and stuff now. But Zappo, listen, they have exceptional customer service. You know, um, and they understand the importance of standing out and how important it is that it's an integral part, to their brand identity. You need to do the same thing. You got to. You got to. Or you're going to be closing your doors. That's all I'm saying. Now, strategy tip number 5 is, as you wrap up and show the you in your brand, right? You're creating or crafting that unforgettable business identity. Understand the importance of being an active thought leader in your community. We kind of talked about thought leadership uh, somewhat in a way yesterday on day 60, but active thought leadership is going to be key for you as a successful business owner, as you stand up as your brand. Establish active thought leadership, engage in discussions, whether it's in your local community, whether it's on Clubhouse, someone's forum, engage in it. Share your insights. Share it inside someone else's comments. Now, don't overtake their post on their social media, but engage. Give some nice insights, right? You can, while you're showing up and giving insights on your platform or on someone else's post, you still can show your expertise, right? Position yourself as that industry authority, that industry expert. You got to know what it is you say you know. Your expertise truly becomes synonymous with your brand. It really does. When I first started out talking about, or calling myself the strategy lady, I used to struggle a whole lot about hopping over, sharing all kind of other different things that had nothing at all to do with what it was I said I was doing. I'm the strategy lady. Let's talk strategies. Let's talk processes and systems in a strategic way, right? Show up, show your level of expertise, and make sure that it lines up with your brand. It's going to have people running to you. You'll be the magnet, I promise you. You really, truly will. Now, a way that you can do this is by, again, participating more than just inside of, local places and forums and Clubhouse and all of those other good things. You can actually do this in your blog, on your website, right? You can do this via providing webinars. Of course, social media, as we mentioned, that's just a way to help you stay in front of people, um, industry wise, for lack of better words. Okay. I want to be known as the strategy lady. So I'm going to be talking all things strategies, even if I'm talking it on a personal level. I believe as in our personal lives, we still need to be strategic. You know, there's ways that we do a lot of different things. I mean, you get up in the morning. For me, I take a systematic approach. I pray, get up, go to the restroom, brush my teeth, wash my face. There's a step-by-step approach in everything you do, even in your business. So it shows up in your life as well, right? I mean, listen, if you're struggling with ways that you can do this and show up as a thought leader, consider joining certain groups that are in your industry that will help guide you. And you'll see this topic or this title of being called a thought leader does not have to be as hard as we make it. Get around other industry people in your industry and watch how they move. And if it's positive, only adapt that, right? You want to be a thought leader yourself. And sometimes you just need a little guidance, right? Make sure that you get in environments that are relevant to your industry, relevant to the topics that you talk about. Participate again in certain forums, participate in discussions, on social media, blogs, you know, host a webinar. Do that. Show up as a leader that we know you are. You can do it. I know you can, right? Listen, there are several people out in the field that are doing it. You've got women that have to show up consistently, in their brand and show that brand awareness that are heavy in like those male dominating industries, right? I think her name is Cheryl. You look at her name, Cheryl Sandberg. She has to show up as the authority in the tech field, in a male dominating field. Mary Barra, I believe they spell it. She's in automotive, but she shows up. She shares her expertise, blogs, webinars, social media. She is a thought leader, a female thought leader in her industry. You can do the same. Listen, don't cut your foot off before you start walking, right? If you're struggling with this thing, get around people that can help you with it. Join industry associations that can help you walk through so that you can adapt that same type of feel, that adapt being a thought leader. A lot of us say, I don't think I'm a thought leader. If you're a business owner who is a leader, I believe you can be a thought leader. Get around people that can help you, you know, grow in that area. Okay? Don't shoot your foot. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Be intentional about everything that you're doing. Be intentional about the information that you share, which will show you as a thought leader, right? The content. When I show up, you truly know what I'm going to be talking about. I'm a thought leader in this industry of talking strategies. I really am. I make sure that it aligns with my brand values. And so I encourage you to do that as well. And that it reinforces the image, okay, that I want to project. And when I struggle with this, how did I get through it? I got around people to help me through it. I got into associations and organizations that dealt with my industry that helped me hone in and develop my skills and develop my expertise. And I encourage you to do so. You can do it. Don't make it hard. That's all I'm saying, okay? Don't make it hard. You can use tools that'll help you even do it. I mean, we have digital CEO systems. I use that to stay consistent with showing up, right? It helps me shape my brand perception, someone who's consistently connecting with my audience. I'm not on one day and then 10 days later I'm showing up. Now, some people only show up once a month. I don't know how they can do it. I don't believe in it. I show up as consistent as possible, but sometimes I have to use tools in order to do that so I can stay consistent, so I can work on the things that I best work at and let my tools or my VA or my junior admin do the rest with me. But it's still me. It's still my stuff. It's still my level of expertise. So if you struggle in this area, listen, connect, get some tools that will help you show up as a thought leader. So there's two ways, remember. We know you can operate and show up as the thought leader that you are by showing your expertise, sharing good content that deals with your industry. And if you're struggling with becoming or understanding what thought leadership is, join organizations that deal with thought leadership that can help you develop that part of you, and to show you that, yes, you are a leader, you know, you are that thought leader as well. Okay. Now, I believe I've got a couple more things here. I encourage you all that as you show up as a thought leader, you know, and making that impact on social media and showing your personal brand, that you can do it by way of, your post, making sure your content speaks to that you say that you are, you know, create, a social media strategy that will help you do that. You really need to show up the right way. Nobody cares about what you're eating unless you are a vegan uh, chef who wants to showcase the food stuff. Notice I said vegan because I'm vegan. I'm always looking at all that kind of stuff. But I flock to them, the ones that are consistent, right? They're consistent. I know what it is they offer, and I flock to them because they are a thought leader in their industry, and they're providing me with the things that I need, whether it's recipes or how-to tips on how to do different things. You can do that. Again, don't overcomplicate it, right? Make sure that whatever it is that you're sharing as the leader that you are engages with the said people that you say you want to connect with, you know, your target audience, the people that you serve. Make sure you do it, okay? Now, there's some tools that you can show up and showcase your skills and your expertise that will help you stay consistent. Again, digital CEO systems, Hootsuite. I don't know how many people really use it still, but I know a lot of people out there use it. I use it to schedule my posts so I can stay consistent and show up, right? These are just some resources that I believe will allow you to stay visible, right? And if you're not using them, do it, especially if you're that one that's showing up once every month, and then all of a sudden you pop up and all of a sudden you want somebody to buy something from you and you wonder why they're not doing it. You got to stay consistent, and utilizing tools that will help showcase who you are as a thought leader is going to be extremely important. Now, tip number 7, I believe that's the last one for today, as we end day 61 of the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series, and we discussed the topic of you as the brand, crafting unforgettable business identities. We moved on from step 6, being the thought leader, right? An active thought leader, showing up, showing your skill set, understanding how to find ways to become one if you're struggling with it. Now we're moving on to, I believe it is number 6. Or did we go to 7? Do I only have 6? No, we got 7. So number 6, y'all, strategic social media presence. Listen, when I don't have certain things to talk about, I will curate in a heartbeat. I will find somebody's stuff or blogs, articles that resonate with me, that speaks to my industry in a heartbeat. That's strategic. Curate strategic social media presence. It's okay. It's okay to share other people's stuff, is all I'm saying, as long as you give them some credit. Okay, be intentional about the content that you share. Make sure that it aligns with your brand. That's all you need to do, your brand values. And that, of course, it reinforces the image that you want to project. Don't feel weird about it. I get people all the time going, I know I need to do this, I need to post, but I just don't know what to do on a consistent day-to-day basis. Curate, curate, curate. There's nothing new under the sun. There's somebody else that's doing what you do. Showcase theirs. That's collaboration. That's really, you know, getting in sync with other people. You never know. Listen, collaboration may position you where you can end up being in their summit, doing events together. It's not all about you all the time, okay? Well, we know it's not all the time at all, right? It's about you, but it's about your clients, and they want to see some creativity in there. And I believe curating things is extremely helpful for you. Okay? I believe it shapes your brand perception, and it also helps you connect with your audience, right? Now, remember, there's tools that you can use to do that as well. And I want to go ahead and I want to move on to tip number 7, which is the last one for this Strategic Leadership Mastery Series, day 61. Strategic tip number 7, y'all, is network with purpose. As we wrap things up, girl, if you don't start networking, I don't know what you're going to do. Listen, everybody's not at home anymore, right? Sometimes we do stay at home and do things, but now we're back out there. Listen, network with purpose. Whether you're doing, if you decide you still want to stay in and not go out, make sure you're still doing it with purpose. Make sure that you're in the right networking or clubs, um, groups, etc., that really resonate with you, and groups that you can resonate well with. Okay, network with a purpose. I do not believe in networking just for the sake of networking. For me, it's a waste of time. Okay, it's time for you to forge those connections beyond just a transaction. People need it to be much more than just the transaction. Trust me. Genuine relationships are built around that, right? I think it's an integral part of your brand identity. So make sure that if you're not networking with purpose, it's time to do that. Okay? Be authentic when you're doing it. Make sure when you join these groups that you are supporting people in the group, not just there to get. Yeah, you're going to get some out of that, but make sure you're giving. Please make sure you're giving. Listen, share some tips, with people. Attend industry events, join online communities. Uh, and when you're out, whether you're online or when you're out networking, make sure that you're initiating some meaningful conversations, that you're not sounding like a used car salesman, that you're just out there just for the sale, just for the sale, sale, sale. Listen, meaningful conversations is going to be extremely helpful. I promise you. They've been helpful for me. I stand on them. I stand by them as well. Okay. I hope that what I've shared with you is motivating you to operate in your you-ness, your I amness, you as the brand. Okay. You need to craft an unforgettable business identity that when they see you coming, they know who you are, even when you don't open your mouth. My glasses kind of lent to that. When we talk about branding, it comes in so many different realms. It really does. It really, really does. So, as you build out your brand, I'm encouraging you, the CEO, that successful female CEO, to, reflect on your values, your strengths, your business mission as you craft out your brand. Okay. Make sure that it is concise. People ain't got to figure it out. And that it's impactful. It's extremely important. Okay. When I was struggling with trying to figure things out, I would go into groups, I would share different things about what I do so that I can get feedback, from people so that I can know how to line it up. I wanted to know, how do you see me? When you see me, what do you think about me? And when I say certain things, when I share certain, tips or services or provide services to you, give me some insights on that. And, I take that feedback and I run with it, because I realize it's not just about me. I want my brand to leave a lasting effect. And I encourage you to do that. Sometimes you have to ask for feedback as you're developing it, right? You know, it can only help you, right? And make sure that as you get the feedback and as you show up as you, that you show up in its most positive way, and that you don't operate with hurt feelings when you get feedback from people. Listen, it's only there to help you grow your business, in my opinion. Now, sometimes we do have to watch who we're getting the feedback from, right? If people are not in business, they ain't got nothing to give you, right? They're here trying to get it, right? People giving you their opinions, in my opinion, I think you should. If they're not owning and operating a successful business, think that one through. Not everybody can give you the good, right? But your customers can. They can tell you if they feel like you're showing up and you're serving them right, and you're showing up consistently, and they're not confused with that thing that you're providing, whether it's service, whether it's product. Okay? Show up as the you in your brand. You got this. I know you do. When you do it, listen, it's going to foster some serious collaborations. And I believe that as the business grows and you are pivoting, it will lend to other people that may possibly be in your industry. It will lend to them wanting to even support you as you navigate through this thing. I've been in business for years, and every time that I pivot, I make sure that I'm in the right environments around the right people that will help me move forward, even in my struggles. Okay. And I'm encouraging you as you go through this, the you as the brand and not show up as anybody else. Make sure that you connect with other people that can help you through it. You don't have to do it alone, I promise you. There's no need to do it alone. There's no need. There's too many people out here. Listen, you are not doing it by yourself. You're not the only one doing it. I promise you. Now, as we wrap up day 61 of the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series, if you're just now joining me, my name is Danette Moss, Business Systems and Implementation Strategist, aka the Strategy Lady over at letstalkstrategies.com. I want to thank you so much for joining me here for these 61 days, the 61-day journey that I've been on with you and myself. 61 total days, y'all. It was a journey, but we did it. I count it as an honor that you decided to hang out here with me through this entire journey. And it's my prayer and my hope that you got something out of it and that you go back and that you listen to these 61 days while they're still up and take advantage of the tips that I've shared with you and work them out. Do the homework assignments and watch how things begin to truly manifest themselves. I promise you, you're going to be a whole total different new you in certain areas of your business. We all stand a chance to grow. I know I'm consistently growing, and I pray that these 61 days have been extremely rewarding to you. I really do. I pray that they have. Now, as we conclude with this transformative series of the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series, I want you to remember that you, capital Y, capital O, capital U, are the heartbeat of your brand. You really, truly are. Your authenticity, your consistency, and of course, purposeful actions resonate. They really do. You got to do it with purpose, okay? Crafting that brand that leaves a memorable mark is going to be extremely important. It really is. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm struggling with letting y'all go, but I got to let you go. Until our paths cross again, y'all, continue being the vibrant, sassy lady, the vibrant force that defines your business identity. This is Danette Moss, Business Systems and Implementation Strategist, aka the Strategy Lady over at Let's Talk Strategies, home of the SaaS Factor. Please remember to share your insights, your comments in the comment section on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, whatever platform you follow me on. If you have any questions, I will be the one answering them. If you don't want to share your insights or ask your questions over in the comment section on all the social media sites, feel free to, of course, join us over in the Get Your SaaS On community. You can join us by going to GYSO community letstalkstrategies.com. And before we leave, I do have some exciting news. Keep your eyes and your ears open for the upcoming waitlist. Is going to be open soon for the SaaS Framework 5-day challenge, y'all. I'm excited about it. If you're wondering again what SaaS stands for, I'm all about helping you simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline your business for sustainability, for the growth that we know you desire to have. So if you're ready to elevate your skills and your strategies to new heights, as soon as that waitlist opens, join it so I can share with you the next steps. Until next time, y'all, thanks so much for joining. Take care. And thanks so much again for hanging out with me for this entire 61-day journey of the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series.